Hey guys, so for today's video, I'm going to be doing these like mid-century nails. So to start off, I'm just taking bare bones from ball pit and painting all of the nails with this. I want to say I did 2 coats of this color, and I cured each coat for 60 seconds. I was just scrolling through Pinterest one day and I was getting a lot of like mid-century type of designs and like wallpapers and stuff like that, and I thought it would make for a really cool like nail set, so that's why I'm doing this. Also, the black that is on my fingers was from hair dye. I had dyed my mom's hair prior to doing this set, and I had forgotten to wear gloves. This was like the next day. I dyed her hair the day before I did this, so there's not like a lot of hair dye still left on my fingers, but there is still a little bit. So that's what all the black is on some of my fingers. So after getting all of the nails painted, I'm just wiping them off with some alcohol to remove that sticky layer, because like I always say, the sticky layer does kind of act like a little bit like a blooming gel. It doesn't spread out as much as a blooming gel, but it does spread out enough to kind of make your lines a little distorted. So I always recommend wiping your nails off with some alcohol before you go in and do any kind of nail art. Now I'm just taking Hot Hazelnut, Undead, Evil Eye, and Orange Blossom from Ball Pit to do all of the nail art. I thought these colors matched really well with like the colors that I was seeing in these like mid-century designs and patterns and stuff that I was seeing on Pinterest. So that's kind of why I went with them. I also felt like they went really well together. For this first nail here, I am doing like this rounded kind of square pattern. So to do this, I started out by doing like my little square, and then I went around it and just like kind of thickened it up a little bit, and then like rounded the outside edges, and like 2 of the sides are like super thin and then 2 of the sides are thicker. It kind of gives this really cool like almost lopsided type of square look, if that makes any sense. Once you see it all done, like, I think you'll understand what I was trying to say. But I started out with the brown, and then I did flash cure it before moving on, so I didn't mess it up. And then I went on and did a yellow square under that, and then I did do like part of a yellow square above it as well, because I felt like the top part there was a little bit empty. And then once I got the yellow on, I did flash cure that, and then I went in with the brown again, and then I did this like, it was like a repeating pattern across the nail, but I did the brown and yellow squares first. They go vertically down this side of the nail, and then on the other side of the nail, I alternate the blue and the orange. And I did only do 1 coat of all of these covers, all of these colors. They are very opaque colors, and they're like 1 coat coverage colors. That's why I really like Ball Pit gel polishes, because they are really good for, not only are they really good to just paint your nails, but they're also really good for nail art. They are a little bit on the thicker side, so they don't run as much as like a thinner gel. Honestly, they don't run at all. Like, I've never had an issue with them running like I do sometimes with thinner gels. Also, like I said, they are super pigmented, so you usually don't have to do two coats when you're doing it nail art. Sometimes you do, depending on the color that you have down for your base. Also, sometimes yellows and like neon colors, you do tend to have to do two coats just because they're a little less like pigmented. I mean, they're still super pigmented, but they just have a little less pigment than like any other color. But all that to say, I did only just do one coat of all these colors. Also, like, my base color here is a sheer nude, so it wasn't showing through at all. Potentially, if I were to have done a darker color, like a black or like a dark purple or blue or something like that, or even a glitter sometimes could show through, I may have had to do a second coat. I also may not have, I don't really know. But like I said, because this is a super light base that I did, I really didn't have to worry about doing a second coat on top of these also being like super pigmented gels. It all just worked out in my favor of not having to do multiple coats. I also did this design on one of the other nails. I think it was the pointer. I think I did this design on the pointer and the ring nail just to kind of balance the set out a little bit. Also, since I was flash curing all the little squares in between doing them, once I did get all of the squares painted on the entire nail, I did go ahead and cure for a full 60 seconds to make sure that everything was completely cured. And then for the other three nails, I just did some like random shapes that went along with the mid-century vibe. So like this one is like this almost kind of heart shape. It's not like a full heart, but it's like almost kind of looks like a heart or like a triangle that has like a dip on one of the sides. I also did like squares and diamonds and circles and like ovals and stuff like that. Once I got one shape done, I would flash cure it, and then once I got all the shapes done on the nail, I would cure the full nail for a full 60 seconds. Also, this nail here, you're going to see it one way, but in the end, you're going to see it another way because I didn't really like the positioning or like the size of the shapes that I did. So I did off camera like switch it up. I like wiped the nail off and then switched up the positioning and like the size of the shapes and stuff, just because like I said, I didn't really like how I had this nail set up. But I do try to use all 4 of the colors on each of the nail. That way, like, all 4 colors go across all the nails and it makes the set more cohesive, since each nail is different and none of them are the same. I wanted to keep the same colors going throughout the entire set. That way it just went and flowed a little bit better. And I am just going to go ahead and let this finish playing out. I don't know if I can't remember if I showed me doing the designs on all the nails or not, or if I just show this nail. But either way, I don't really feel like I need to explain each and every shape I'm doing. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So like I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and let this play out. So once I'm finished with that, I'm taking the Emo Black Liner Gel from Ball Pit to do all the little like smaller black line details that are on like within this design. And whenever you're using a liner gel, you do want to mix it up before you use it, because the pigment can get separated from the base. So you just want to mix that up a little bit to make sure that it's all mixed in and incorporated into each other. And now, like I said, I'm just going in and doing like the little black details that are on these shapes. So some of them have like, they kind of look like if you were to draw a snowflake almost on some of them, like this one right here where you do the X and then you do like the cross, and then there's like little dots on the ends of the lines, and then some of them are just like outlined, so like that little heart shaped triangle boomerang shape or whatever, that little blue shape, it is just kind of outlined but not like perfectly outlined. So like the outline of it will go like farther into the shape or go outside of the shape. I think that'll make more sense when you see it being done. And like I said, yeah, there's like lots of dots on these lines and stuff. And then there's like this little, I think it's called like the atomic, I think it's atomic. Like a little atomic doodad thingy or whatever. I think I do that on this nail on the little square there, where it's just like 2 ovals that like crisscross each other, and then like I said, more dots and stuff. I also do some little dots in the background, as well as like 4-pointed stars, just because that's like what I was seeing within this design. So I wanted to give it like, I don't know, I wanted to make it look as closely as possible to the designs that I was seeing. So yeah, basically I'm just doing a bunch of lines and dots and tracing some of the shapes. So I am just going to, again, let this play out. Like I said, I feel like this set is pretty self-explanatory, and like I don't really have to do too much explaining with it. But if I do need to explain something, I will. But other than that, I am just going to let this play out. Okay, I didn't realize that I showed every single nail when I was doing this part. I thought I just showed that one nail and then moved on to the nail with the squares, because that one is a little different. Like, I didn't trace any of the squares or anything, but I did just do like some dots and 4-pointed stars. But apparently I went ahead and showed all of the nails, and I feel like that's a long time to kind of sit in silence with just like the background music playing. Um, so I am just going to pop back in here for a minute and say, like, this set was really fun to do. Like, it was just kind of like random shapes and lines and dots and stuff. um I don't really know how to like explain this anymore. But yeah, it was just really fun to do. And like, I really enjoyed the doing this, and like the colors that I chose went really well together. I mean, you can honestly do whatever colors you wanted to do. I was just kind of trying to stick more to like that mid-century 50s type of vibe. I felt like this set was giving like you know, the intro scene, or like the theme title. What? Oh my gosh, I cannot think. The title, the theme song, the theme song, like the intro sequence or whatever to the nanny. Like, I felt like it was kind of giving that, like with all these shapes and stuff and like the colors. And then I was also kind of getting like the Jetsons vibes as well, because like the little black lines and shapes and stuff, I feel like that was giving more like futuristic type of things. But also, I think like back then in the 50s, which this is like a 50s, yeah, it's like 50s mid-century um type of patterns and stuff, designs, and that was like popular then or something. And I feel like, yeah, back in the 50s and stuff, they were like, you know, thinking a lot about the future and was like, oh, this is what it's gonna be like in the future. But also, I mean, I feel like every generation, I guess, kind of does that as well. Like, if you think about in the early 2000s, everyone was thinking that the future was going to be like chrome, and there was going to be like flying cars and stuff. So like, I don't know, I guess every generation kind of has their idea of how the future is was going to be, and still does have an idea, like their own ideas of how the future is going to be. But anyhow, okay. I Like I said, I just had a lot of fun doing this set, and I think my favorite part of doing this was doing like all the little black outlines and like the random lines and dots and stuff. I felt like that really just brought it all together and really made this set complete, because you know, having those random shapes on there, you're kind of just looking at the nail like, what is this supposed to be? Like, what's going on here? Why are there these random shapes? And then you start adding on all the black onto it, and then you're like, okay, I get what's going on and like what it's supposed to be. So yeah, I don't really have much to say, honestly, when it comes to this set and like explaining anything that's going on. But I also didn't really want to leave that much time being just, you know, the background music. I'm trying to get better at like filling in the space so there's not so much not non-talking parts, because I feel like a lot of people do like to hear someone talking throughout the video, and like, I really just only talk about the nails and like the nail art and explain what I'm doing in my videos. and I don't really, talk much about anything else. I definitely like don't really talk about like myself or like my personal life or anything, because like I am a super private person and I'm just not into really sharing things about myself like that. I will occasionally share something here and there, but it's like, I'm very particular about what I do share and like what people do know. So like I can't just really go off and talk about stuff like that, because like I said, I am super personal, but also I don't really want to go too far off topic from the nails. Like I do kind of want to keep everything focused on the nails rather than like myself and like what's going on in my life. Although I know a lot of people do that, like they'll talk about their lives and like what's going on in their lives, and I have nothing wrong with that. I watch several people that do that, and I do enjoy their stuff, and like I think it's really cool that they're open to sharing all that about themselves. But like I said, I'm not like that, so I won't be doing all that. But I do think it's really cool that people share like those personal type of details about themselves and like their lives and stuff. um but anyhow, yeah, I'm trying to figure out the right balance between like talking during my videos and not talking during my videos. I'm also trying to like make sure I'm editing the videos to where I don't have a lot of quiet space in there, but also like I said, for this video, sometimes I end up editing it in a way that has it where there's like a huge chunk of quiet space there. But I'm working on it. I'm trying. I've been doing this for like what, 2.5 ish. I don't even know if it's 2.5 years yet or not, but it might be 2.5 years. October will be 3 years that I've been doing this. I feel like I should have this figured out by now since I've been doing it for this long, but also I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I guess it's just all a learning process, and things do change so quickly, like within social media and like the internet and stuff. So like what people like seeing on the internet changes like pretty much from month to month. So you're like constantly having to switch it up to keep things interesting and keep people interested in what you're doing and entertained and stuff. And it's just a little hard and it's a lot of work. But anyhow, now that I've rambled on randomly, I am just going in with my matte top coat from Nails by Dev and applying that to all of the nails. And the matte top coat from Nails by Dev is a wipe off top coat, so you do have to wipe the nails off with some alcohol after it's been cured. And with a wipe off top coat, you don't have to wipe the nails off with alcohol before top coating, because I know previously, if you've watched any set that I've done a matte top coat with before I started using this matte top coat, I always stressed to wipe the nail off with some alcohol to remove the sticky layer before going in with the top coat, the matte top coat, otherwise you'd get smudging and smearing. But with this top coat, since it is a wipe off top coat, like you don't get that smudging and smearing at all. So if you are tired of the smudging and smearing and like you just don't want to do that extra step of wiping the nails off beforehand, you can just go ahead and get a wipe off matte top coat and you won't have to worry about that. But also, even sometimes I felt like even if I did wipe the nails off prior to top coating, I still got smudging and smearing sometimes. But like I said, I've never had any smudging and smearing with this Nails by Dev matte top coat. I think mainly because it is a wipe off top coat. But anyhow, this is the finished set. I think this set is so fun and I absolutely love it. I really like that I went with the matte top coat for it. I was kind of going back and forth on if I wanted to do shiny or matte, but I just kind of felt like with the colors and the designs, like It would look best if it was matte. So I'm really happy with that decision because I do feel like the matte top coat really just kind of makes it all pop and like brings it all together. Also, when it came to like the base color of these nails, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I thought about doing just a white background, but then I felt like that was going to be like too bright. Um, like with these colors, and these colors are kind of more muted, if you will, except for like that blue. It is like the brightest color out of them, but like I feel like it's still kind of like a muted type of blue. Like they're not super bright, a little more earthy, I guess. I just felt like the white would be a little too bright, but I also didn't want to go super dark with the background either, so I felt like a nude color would be good. Like it would let the colors that I used pop, but it also wouldn't be like, I don't know, too distracting of a background, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I think the nude background was a really good choice for this as well. And I do like to show like my sets in different lightings, like under the phone flash, under my recording lights, outside. And I just feel like this set looks the best when it's outside. Like when you see it here in a second in the outside shots, like it just looked really good. In this lighting, I think it was a little bit cloudy that day when I was filming this. So I don't know. I just feel like this is where they look the best. I also think it might be because I used like the side of my house as the background and it was kind of light and just made it all pop. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it.